In the heart of Togo, nestled between ancient baobab trees that whispered secrets to the wind, lay the village of Pessi. But Pessi was a village draped in shadow, not from the trees, but from a relentless drought that had stolen the laughter from the children and the songs from the women. The land, once a tapestry of green and gold, was now a cracked and dusty canvas. The river, once the village's lifeblood, had shrunk to a mere silver thread. Despair was the air they breathed.
Ho, ho, ho!
In this village lived a boy named Kale. He was small for his age, with eyes that held the depth of the night sky and a spirit that refused to be quenched by the dust. While others saw only the barren earth, Kale saw the ghosts of yesterday's harvests. He listened to the elders' tales of a time when the river roared and the land overflowed with yams and maize. He held onto these stories like precious embers, fanning them with a fierce, unwavering hope.
Ho, ho, ho!
One evening, as the sun bled orange and purple across the horizon, Kale sat with his grandmother, Amara. Her face was a map of wrinkles, each line a story of joy and sorrow. She was the keeper of the old ways, the one who knew the secrets of the earth and sky. "Grandmother," Kale whispered, his voice barely disturbing the heavy silence, "is there truly no hope left for us?"
Ho, ho, ho!
Amara looked at him, her gaze soft. "Hope is never lost, my child. It just sometimes hides where we are not brave enough to look." She then told him a forbidden legend, a story whispered only in the darkest of nights. It spoke of the Time Weaver, an ancient spirit who lived at the peak of Montagu, the mountain that kissed the clouds. The legend said the Time Weaver could unravel the threads of fate, allowing a pure-hearted soul to journey into the future and borrow what was needed. But such a gift always came with a great price, a sacrifice equal to the miracle sought.
Ho, ho, ho!
The story ignited something within Kale. A crazy, impossible idea took root in his heart. While the village slept, resigned to its fate, Kale made a decision. He would find the Time Weaver. He would climb Montagu. He would borrow a tomorrow filled with rain and life for his people.
Ho, ho, ho!
Under the silent watch of a crescent moon, Kale slipped out of his hut. He carried with him nothing but a small gourd of water, a piece of dried cassava, and the immense weight of his village's future. The path to Montagu was treacherous, a forgotten trail overgrown with thorns and guarded by the spirits of the wild. The air grew thin and the climb was steep, his small legs aching with every step. But with each challenge, he thought of his mother's tired face, his grandmother's hopeful eyes, and the hollow bellies of the village children. His courage became a shield, his hope a guiding star.
Ho, ho, ho!
After days of relentless climbing, exhausted and scratched, he reached the summit. The world stretched out beneath him, a patchwork of brown and gray. At the very peak, inside a cave shimmering with an otherworldly light, sat the Time Weaver. It was not a fearsome monster, but a being woven from starlight and shadows, its form constantly shifting, its voice the sound of 1,000 rustling leaves.
Ho, ho, ho!
"I know why you have come, little one," the weaver's voice echoed in Kel's mind. "You seek to borrow from the future." A bold request for a mortal. Kale stood tall, his fear melting away in the face of his purpose. "My people are dying," he said, his voice clear and strong. "Our present is barren. I have come to borrow a future where the rains return, where our fields are green and our children laugh again."
Ho, ho, ho!
The Time Weaver was still for a moment. The threads of destiny are delicate. To pull one is to change the entire tapestry. The future you seek is vibrant, but borrowing it requires a great sacrifice. To bring rain to your present, you must give up something of equal value. You must give up your own memories of the rain you bring.
Ho, ho, ho!
Kale faltered. To save his village, but not remember why. To see the joy but not recall his part in it. It was a cruel price. He would be a stranger to his own miracle. He looked down at the dusty plains where Pessie lay gasping for life. He saw the faces of his family, his friends. Their survival was more important than his own memory. "I accept," Cale said, a single tear tracing a path through the grime on his cheek. "Take my memories. Give my village its tomorrow."
Ho, ho, ho!
The time weaver raised its shimmering hands. The air crackled with energy, and the cave filled with a blinding light. Cale felt a strange, pulling sensation, as if his mind was being gently emptied. He saw visions of a future Pessie dark. Heavy clouds gathering, the first drops of rain hitting the parched earth, the river swelling and roaring back to life, and the people dancing, their faces turned to the heavens in pure joy. He saw the first green shoots pushing through the soil. He saw smiles, so many smiles. Then it all faded to white.
Ho, ho, ho!
When Cale awoke, he was at the foot of the mountain, with no memory of how he got there. He felt a strange emptiness, a sense of having lost something he couldn't name. He walked back to Pessie, his mind a blank slate regarding his journey.
Ho, ho, ho!
As he approached the village, he felt a drop of water on his forehead, then another and another. He looked up. The sky, once a merciless white, was now a deep, bruised purple. The heavens opened, and rain began to fall, a gentle shower at first, then a life-giving downpour.
Ho, ho, ho!
The village erupted. People rushed from their huts, arms outstretched, faces to the sky, weeping with joy. They danced in the mud, their feet stomping out a rhythm of gratitude and rebirth. The land drank deeply, and the air filled with the long-forgotten scent of wet earth. It was a miracle.
Ho, ho, ho!
Cale stood among them, a smile on his face, feeling the same joy as everyone else. He watched as the river began to rise, and the land turned a hopeful shade of green. He saw his grandmother, Amara, looking at him from across the bustling crowd. Her eyes were filled with tears, but also with a profound understanding and love. She knew. She was the only one who would ever know the depth of his sacrifice.
Ho, ho, ho!
Cale never remembered his journey to the Time Weaver. He grew up in a thriving village, surrounded by abundance and laughter. He became a strong young man known for his quiet kindness and a strange, wistful look he sometimes got when he stared at Montague. He never knew that he was the hero of their story, the boy who had traded his own memories for their future.
Ho, ho, ho!
But his sacrifice lived on. It lived in every drop of rain, in every green stalk of maize, in every child's full-bellied laughter. Cale didn't need to remember his courage. His courage had become the very air his people breathed. He was the boy who borrowed tomorrow, proving that the greatest acts of love are often the ones no one ever knows about, and that true hope is the courage to sacrifice for a future you may not even remember creating.
Ho, ho, ho!
Thank you so much for watching. This story reminds us that the seeds of a better future are often planted with selfless acts today. If this tale touched your heart, please give it a like. And subscribe for more stories that feed the soul. We'll see you next time.
Ho, ho, ho!